Hi, today we're going to break down the 2026 World Cup category on the market field. The tournament is already underway, and there are a huge number of markets, from group winners to the tournament's top scorer. I'll show you real examples of how I analyze these events and why you can approach this systematically instead of just guessing. Most people bet on the team's flag, meaning they bet with their hearts, think with their hearts, and don't analyze the events. We have a different approach. We use data, form, and a cool head. Our tools for this are AI Score, 4 of them, SofaScore, FBRF, and Transfer Market. On Transfer Market, we can look at the team's lineup for the tournament. That is, for the World Cup, we can see the current squad and the team captain. We can check the player's value, which is quite important for beginners. How do you analyze whether a footballer is good or not? Roughly speaking, just look at the player's price. Here the price is shown. You can look at it and judge based on that alone. So $70 million, well, euros. That means this is a very good player. Or say 40 million, that's also a very good player. And here, for example, Messi is valued at 15 million. But even though he's currently the tournament's top scorer, I hope so, because I support Argentina in particular, and I hope he stays that way. Number 1. So, on FBref we can look at the match statistics, the lineup, how the game started, analyze who scored how many goals, who was substituted, and so on. We can see the course of the match. Let's take a closer look at the specific events that unfolded during the match itself. We should examine the detailed ball possession, shots on target, and key saves, along with the comprehensive breakdown of statistics for fouls, offsides, and corners. Statistics. There are also stats for goalkeepers and players. There's even a comparison feature here, for example, comparing Argentina and Algeria, comparing players directly. To draw some final conclusion about which team is better, roughly speaking, on an individual level. There's SofaScore, yes, and a person. We can also look at matches that are happening right now. For example, Brazil versus Japan is currently underway. So Brazil, at the time of recording this video, they were losing. It was 0-1, but now they've equalized in the 60th minute. We can check the statistics for the next upcoming match, by the way. It will start in a couple of hours. Germany, Paraguay. So there are detailed statistics here. There are even head-to-head matches. There are personal encounters. So if we go here, we can see the last 3 matches. At minimum, it records them. We can see that in the most recent meetings, Germany won 1-0, and then they played a draw 3-3. But in my opinion, it's obvious that Germany is the clear favorite here, even though they have lost before, yes, as those who follow know, to a much less competitive team, as one might say. So let me show you how we did the analysis, so to speak. Well, for example, we bet on Argentina. Why such a large amount? Yes, again, we made a lot of money on these bets because Argentina is the clear favorite in their group. An obvious favorite, and I don't know who they could possibly lose to in this group, honestly. You can bet on them with complete confidence, just in every match. Well, that's exactly what we did. So, we open Group J. Argentina has 3 wins today. 3-0 against Algeria, 2-0 against Austria, and 3-1 against Jordan. Obviously, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan are no match for Argentina. Because yes, if we open the Anaster market, we can simply see which teams the players in the Argentina national team come from. That is, here we have Aston Villa, Marseille, Atletico Madrid, Tottenham, Manchester United, Bournemouth, also Marseille, Lyon, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leverkusen, Inter Miami, but Rodrigo de Paul, in principle, proved himself at the last World Cup, right? I mean, we look at the player's form specifically at the World Cup itself, right? So if a player has one kind of form in, say, the Champions League, here it can be completely different, and that's normal, that's sports. You're either improving or declining. Very few people actually play consistently, unless you count Messi. At this World Cup, in 3 games, he scored 5 goals. 5 goals. That's not human. So let's take a look at Ecuador's specific match at the World Cup. We'll write down Ecuador. They're playing right now. They just beat Germany. By the way, that's who I was talking about. Oh, somehow I got sidetracked. So they beat Germany. They played a draw with the team that finished last in the group, actually. And they lost to Côte d'Ivoire. We actually had a bet on Ecuador to lose. So you see, right? Will Ecuador win? No. The odds will go up anyway, since basically the team itself isn't that strong, to put it mildly, and you can't really be sure about them, so we only placed a small bet here. It's just for the statistics to see whether our analysis is actually going in the right direction or not. So basically on paper, Côte d'Ivoire is also a stronger team than Ecuador if we look at Ecuador on AS score. It probably doesn't show up here. Alright, let's write it here then. Ecuador. Let me check with the bot now. Okay, World Cup. We need the World Cup. If we navigate into the section for Ecuador, we can go in like this to take a closer look at who the individual players are. And once we are inside, we can thoroughly check out the complete team roster and their statistics. You can also use this site to check the players' dates of birth, meaning the average age of the team, which is also important because if we have some veterans running around against a young squad, it seems like the older players have fewer chances from the start. The younger ones are faster, they're always trying to score, always pushing forward, they have more stamina, while the older players, on the contrary, move around less. So if we look at Ecuador and their recent matches, for example, against Germany, they beat Germany 2-1, which is surprising, isn't it? In fact, for many people it was a surprise, since Germany was the clear favorite, and Ecuador wasn't really considered one. But at the same time, Ecuador beat Germany. This is very, very, very good for Ecuador, but not so much for Germany. Actually, to be honest, Germany has been playing strangely and poorly throughout the whole tournament. Here you can also see yellow cards, red cards, all the statistics are here as well. And also, speaking of Ecuador, that is, why is it that, for example, after Ecuador's victory over Germany, we are betting on code.ur with 100% certainty? Either they will draw with Ecuador or they will beat Ecuador, even though Ecuador beat Germany. It's simple. We just analyzed all the statistics on these sites. So if we go here, for example, in the same way, Brazil-Japan, we take a look. Here, the match is live. By the way, that's convenient for us. This as well. Here it shows the attack time and ball possession, as well as all the statistics, so you can watch the match in real time and analyze it. That's also very convenient. We also went in and looked at the players, at the statistics, at passing accuracy, accuracy of tackles, just tackles, saves, how each player is performing, who's in form right now. And also, by the way, Transfermarkt shows whether anyone is injured or not. If you follow football even just a little bit, or at least watch the International World Cup, then you are probably aware of the situation involving the Canadian player. Like how he was injured. In other words, he had a leg fracture right there. That's really scary. You can also look at the team's roster. If we go in, Smail Kone, he's injured. And he definitely won't be back on the field at least until the end of the World Cup. This is just the simplest, easiest analysis you can do here. That is, you don't need to do anything, you don't need to think, you just look at the numbers and estimate. And if everything matches up, that's it. You can be confident and place a bet on a particular team or event without any problem. That's the kind of breakdown, the kind of analysis we're talking about. And the World Cup is the best time to work in the market field. There are a huge number of markets, really. The participants are highly emotional, and at the same time there is more data on each team than ever before. While everyone else is betting with their hearts for their national team, you are working based on data. Here are your tools, 4 of them, very good, high-quality tools that provide accurate and timely information. The information is updated. Even if we go here, there's actually a live match going on right now. Start with small amounts, try it out during the group stage, where it's more predictable and you'll feel the difference between guessing and real analysis yourself. Subscribe, see you.